More people than ever are flying, with higher expectations. But tapping into the ultra-luxury end of the market can be a challenge. Singapore Airlines is the latest carrier to blur the lines between air travel and hotel experiences. Its upgraded A380 fleet has suites that can be combined into a room with a plush double bed. Singapore Airlines were the first in the world to offer sky beds over 10 years ago. This is their latest design and has gotten bigger and better. Passengers get a full-size personal wardrobe, a leather recliner, and not one but 2 bathrooms. But the luxury comes with a hefty price tag. A return trip on one of these could set you back about $10,000 US.
First class and the suites market is a very particular market. We feel that it's still very important. These folks are connoisseurs. They travel very frequently in premium cabins, not only on Singapore Airlines, and they have plenty of choice. I think they like, obviously, privacy. I think a sense of exclusivity, that's always very important for them. And this is a USD almost 850 million investment as a reflection of our intent in making it happen.
Singapore Airlines is not the only carrier splurging on luxury. Last month, Emirates unveiled its own multi-million-dollar upgrade on its Boeing 777 aircrafts, featuring virtual windows and seat designs inspired by the Mercedes-Benz S-Class sedan. And Cathay Pacific is testing mattresses to help business-class passengers sleep better in the air.
The kind of upgrades that are taking place today, the double beds, are critical to attract the business. So even though maybe only 5% of passengers are flying at the front end, it's about 25% of the revenue according to the latest numbers from IATA. And those numbers are fairly stable or even slightly trending up. So you make your money at the front end of the aircraft.
And increasingly, that money will come from a new, younger generation of passengers.
Millennials tend to focus a little bit more on instant value. They want the PowerPoint, they want access to Wi-Fi, they want cheap food. So it's about offering a product that the front end likes and will pay for, but also offering a product in the back that millennials will like.
Standing in the way of airlines' profits are rising fuel, labor, and infrastructure costs. And increasing competition on long-haul routes from the Middle East and China will make 2018 a tougher year for Southeast Asian carriers. Despite the turbulence ahead, airlines are hoping first-class passengers will take them to new heights. Sandy Huang, TRT World, Singapore.
For more on the aviation industry, private pilot and TRT World correspondent Joseph Hayat joins me now in the studio. I find that amazing. There are more bathrooms in some of those suites on the Singapore Airlines planes than there are in flats in Singapore. Do airlines really need this much luxury to make a profit?
Absolutely. I mean, first class and business class products equate to 26.8% of revenue for airlines. So it's big business, and naturally the passengers have very high expectations. And it does matter. If we turn the clock back to 2007, when the likes of Maxjet and Silverjet were in operation, these were business class only product airlines. They ultimately failed because the product wasn't up to par. So it's very important that the airlines get this right. And if we even look as recently as 2017, British Airways have, of course, retrofitted their British Airways aircraft with new business class. And in contrast to the pictures we just saw, one could argue there is a difference in quality.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the market, at the short-haul, low-cost end, more and more airlines are adopting this business model. Why is that?
It's really, really important, and I think ultimately technology's had a massive part to do with that this year, certainly. The likes of the Boeing 737 MAX have actually changed the way airlines can operate. So now, ultimately, the fares are coming down. If we take Norwegian as an example, they've utilised this aircraft to fly across the Atlantic. It now has ETOPS, that's twin-engine operation procedure standards. It's got a certification, so much smaller aircraft that could fly much more fuel efficient are able to operate on routes that conventionally needed wide-body aircraft. And in turn, the consequence is cheaper fares for the passengers.
Now, equally, Joseph, there's been some affordable innovations in general aviation in 2017. Take us through some of those.
Well, the Wingly app has been developed, and that's really sending shockwaves through the general aviation industry, because ultimately now private pilots in what was previously exclusive area of the industry are now able to offer members of the public the opportunity to fly with them if they produce a bit of a contribution towards the operating costs of the flight. And that, of course, opens up the market to many people. Though the advice to pilots, and one must stress, is that, of course, these are private recreational flights. And naturally, pilots should keep an eye on the European Air Safety Agency's regulations and, of course, the regulations within countries that they're operating, because the situation can change. And if you're not a commercial pilot, not operating a commercial aircraft, you're going to have a problem.
Uber in the air. Joseph Hayat, thank you very much indeed.